What if I told you that Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Warren Buffett don't just have more money than you? They actually have more time. Not more hours in a day. We all get 24. But they figured out something that 99.7% of people never do. A way to stretch time, to make seconds feel longer, minutes more productive, and hours feel like entire days. Right now, as you're reading this, your brain is processing time at a normal pace. But once you understand what I'm about to share, your perception of time will shift. 1 hour of your life could become as valuable as a full day to someone else. This isn't magic, it's neuroscience. And it's the reason some people accomplish more in 1 year than others do in a decade. I call it the time-bending effect. And once you understand how it works, you'll never see your time the same way again. Here's something that will change how you look at life. Time isn't fixed, at least not in the way you experience it. Remember when you were a kid and summer felt endless? 3 months felt like 3 years. But now, those same 3 months disappear in what feels like 3 weeks. What changed? Your brain did. A neuroscientist named Dr. David Eagleman discovered something fascinating. He found that the brain has something called temporal flexibility, the ability to stretch or shrink your experience of time based on how your brain processes moments. When you do the same things every day, your brain goes into autopilot. It stops noticing the details. It stops storing vivid memories. So those days blur together and time seems to vanish. But when you're fully present, when you challenge yourself, when you enter new territory, your brain turns all the lights on. It starts recording everything. It pays attention. It creates deeper, layered memories. The more rich memories your brain stores, the longer that period of time feels in hindsight. That's the real secret. That's why the most successful people seem like they've lived several lifetimes. They aren't just busy, they're fully alive in every moment. They're not wasting time. They're bending it, stretching it, slowing it down. They live deliberately. That's the difference. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Most people think attention is a switch. You're either focused or you're not. But attention isn't binary, it's a spectrum. Just like water isn't just frozen or boiling, your mind isn't just on or off. There are degrees of attention, and each one changes the way you experience time. At the lowest level is what I call zombie mode. This is when you're mindlessly scrolling, watching something you don't care about, drifting through your routine. In zombie mode, hours vanish. You barely remember anything. It's life on autopilot. Then there's task mode. You're getting things done, but your mind is split. You're washing dishes while thinking about your emails. You're in a meeting, planning dinner. You're present, but not really. Time moves at normal speed, but it's forgettable. You were there, but not fully alive. Next is flow mode. This is when you're locked in, creating, building, performing. You lose track of time, but when you look back, you've done something meaningful. You've entered that rare state where your mind and body work as one. Time doesn't exist, only the work does. But then, there's time-bending mode. This is the highest level. You're not just focused on what you're doing. You're aware that you're focused. You're fully conscious of the moment. You feel everything. The tension in your hands, the quality of the air, the weight of your thoughts. You are alive in a way most people never feel. And in that state, something remarkable happens. 1 minute in time-bending mode contains more life than an hour of zombie mode. You are literally living more, thinking deeper, remembering more, because your brain is recording everything with full intensity. I once learned this from a master chef. He told me, when I'm really in it, I can feel the exact second an onion goes from raw to caramelized. I can taste when a sauce needs salt without even thinking. It's like I'm inside the dish. To others, that level of precision might take an hour of trial and error. But for him, it takes minutes, because he's fully present to every shift, every micro change. That's time bending. That's the difference between simply existing and truly living. Let me show you exactly what's happening in your brain when you bend time. Your brain has something called the temporal processing network. It spans several regions, but the main ones at play are your prefrontal cortex and your parietal lobe. These areas are what create your perception of the present moment, your sense of now. When you're stuck in routine, these areas barely light up. It's like your brain is running on battery saver mode. It's doing just enough to keep things running, but not enough to create anything memorable. But the second you engage deeply, when you focus with real intention, those same brain regions start firing rapidly. Neural activity surges, and with that surge, something amazing happens. Your brain starts creating more time markers. Think of them like memory snapshots. The more intense the experience, the more snapshots your brain takes. It's like switching from a slow camera to burst mode, capturing dozens of frames per second instead of one every few seconds. Most people don't realize this is happening, but it's why certain moments feel longer, richer, more vivid. It's why you remember the intense ones, the unexpected road trip, the breakup, the close call accident, because your brain recorded more data. Remember how car accidents often feel like they happen in slow motion? That's not just adrenaline. That's your brain snapping into full alert mode, capturing every micro detail to help you survive. Time feels slower because your brain is experiencing more. But here's the secret. You don't need danger to trigger that state. You can choose to flip that switch, on purpose, anytime you want. Try it right now. For the next few seconds, become hyper-aware of everything around you. Feel the chair beneath you. Listen to the faintest background sound. Notice the rhythm of your breathing, the shadows on the wall, the light on your hands. That's it. That shift you just felt, that was time bending. You just experienced more in those few seconds than most people do in 30 minutes of autopilot. Now here's why billionaires and high performers seem to enter this state more often, even without knowing the neuroscience. Warren Buffett spends 80% of his time reading and thinking. Not doing, not rushing, just thinking. At first glance, it looks like wasting time. But it's the opposite. He knows the value isn't in activity, it's in clarity. And clarity requires deep awareness. Bill Gates takes entire weeks away from everything just to think and read. No meetings, no noise. Just uninterrupted time with ideas. Those think weeks aren't a luxury, they're a compression tool. He's packing months of insight into days by immersing fully. Elon Musk often talks about first principles, questioning everything, rebuilding logic from the ground up. But at its core, that's just another way of describing focused presence. He doesn't let assumptions or distractions cloud his process. He's locked in, and because of that, he solves problems in hours that take others months. But here's what matters most. You don't need their billions to do this. You don't need their teams or their resumes or their IQs. You just need to understand how attention works and practice using it with precision. You don't need more time. You need to master the time you already have. All right, let's get practical. Here's exactly how to start bending time in your own life, starting today. Step 1. The temporal reset. 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening, stop whatever you're doing and spend exactly 2 minutes in what I call temporal awareness. Set a timer, then become intensely conscious of the present moment. Not meditation, awareness. Feel your body, notice your thoughts, observe your environment. This trains your brain to shift into time-bending mode on command. Step 2. The depth protocol. Choose one activity per day that you normally do on autopilot. Eating breakfast, walking to your car, having a conversation. Do that activity with complete presence. Notice every detail, every sensation, every micro moment. You'll be amazed how much richness exists in activities you've been sleepwalking through. Step 3. The learning accelerator. When you're learning something new or working on something important, every 25 minutes, pause and ask yourself, what did I just experience? What details can I remember? This forces your brain to create those rich time markers we talked about earlier. Step 4. The slow motion practice. Once a week, spend 1 hour doing something at half speed. Walk half as fast, eat half as fast, talk half as fast. This literally trains your temporal processing network to capture more information per unit of time. I know this might sound simple, but simplicity is deceptive. The people who implement these 4 steps consistently report that their days feel longer, their memory improves dramatically, and they get far more done while feeling less stressed. They're not cramming more activities into their time. They're extracting more life from each moment. So here's the choice in front of you right now. You can close this and go back to living in fast-forward mode, where weeks blur into months and years disappear without trace, where you're constantly busy but never really present. Or you can start bending time. You can start living like the most successful people in the world, not by rushing more, but by being more present. Not by doing more things, but by experiencing more life in each thing you do. The next 24 hours are going to pass whether you implement this or not. But with time bending, those 24 hours can feel like 48 hours of rich, conscious experience. In 1 year, that's like gaining an extra year of life. In 10 years, it's like living 2 decades instead of 1. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, practice the temporal reset 3 times a day, 2 minutes each time. Just 7 days. See if you don't start noticing that your days feel longer, your memory is sharper, and you're accomplishing more with less stress. What's one moment from today that you're going to experience in time-bending mode? Time isn't just money. Time is life itself. And now you know how to get more of it. The clock is ticking, but for you, it's about to start ticking a lot slower.